Do you fish? No. You know, people who don't fish think that fishing is lazy or boring, but it is the complete opposite. There are 100 little decisions to be made, variables to be considered, and you're never quite sure what made the difference. Did I cast too high, too far to the left? Did I reel it in too slow or too fast? Is the lure too shiny or too dull? Do I stay here or should I go over there? And you know it's not luck, but you do not know by how much. Because I am never disappointed out here, because I don't expect anything, because anything is possible. I can be hopeful out here, even in failure. Because I know if I just go out there around that tree, it might be different. Something might be different. Something I do might make a difference.
Just gonna send it.
Fluorocarbon I will use, but I have an extremely sensitive rod.
Hold up.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
On my property, you didn't win shit in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good morning, everybody. We're here at the final day of ICAST coverage. I really appreciate everyone that's been attending all this. And for today, what we're going to be doing is kayaks, nothing but kayaks. If you have a question, please drop it in the comment section below. And then otherwise, let's get right to it here.
After we went through it,
Yeah.
there were all sorts of tapes that are just not being used and expired and backups, all these different things. So now I work for Comcast, and I'm a director that leads the team, and I've got artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all these different things.
I think you've seen your VP
all these graphs and all this
sales, I
data coming
think.
in across the company. We use
We
that
are
to make
live.
decisions.
Honestly,
All right, we're
the
live,
ocean,
so.
like rare streams.
With YakAttack.
You said you're
Good morning.
Senior VP of sales?
I'm not senior VP. I'm just
Oh.
VP of sales.
Well,
Used to have a kayak store in Jacksonville, Florida, so I'm working with Luther and the team in Farmville, Virginia. I'm still based out of Jacksonville, so this is my first ICAST show that I actually have been selling instead of buying. It's been a lot of fun. Talking to these guys from Jake's Bait and Tackle is been a good start to this Friday.
Yes.
And we are carrying YakAttack.
Frank, what are you stuck on?
Yep.
And so, but what we want to do now is, for our listeners and for us, take us around, show us your product, what you have, what we need to be carrying in the shop, so that anglers can pick it up and outfit their kayak.
So I'm gonna answer this two ways. Number one, there's some stuff that is probably in store right now that you could go today and get, and those things are some rod holders. So we have a Zuka tube,
Wow.
which is set up so that you can have a spinning or a bait caster in there, depending on which way you angle it. Our claim to fame, though, in all of our rod holders is the lock and load system. And so if you look at it, this base goes on any of our track, also some of our other mounts, like a sidearm, which is what this is. But you have to know that to open it up, to take it on and off, you got to hit that second little lever inside, close it down, and now it's locked in place. If you want to spin it on that axis, you push down, it kind of lifts up a little bit, but I can't take it off, right? That's how it comes on and off. We have 4 different models of rod holders. We have our Omega, which is the first and last. It fits everything, every type of rod, including a fly rod. There's an Omega Pro that has an extra little arm. We already talked about the Zuka. And then this is the AR tube, just your standard tube mount, but kind of has that look, that AR look to it, but it is designed a lot for trolling as well. That's a product that you can probably get right now in stock. And then if you have a boat and you don't have the track, mount where you need it, we have that too. And those guys at Jake's Bait and Tackle can show you how to put it on your boat. One of the new products that I'm super excited about that's going to ship towards the end of August is the Track Pack. And this is track mounted storage. So bracket that'll go on the track, and then these are stackable boxes. And I would actually tell you that this is not just a kayak fishing accessory. It's not just a kayak accessory. It's a storage solution. I know I'm going to be putting them in my camper van to keep a little bit of stuff in it. And I've had people tell me already that it's like, yeah, I'm going to line up and have like 4 or 5 of them. I'm going to label them with what's in them. And maybe when I hit the water, I'm only taking 2 things depending on where I'm fishing that day. I think the most interesting thing though is when you get them, you get 2 stacked on there, you need to get something from the bottom. You can still get it from the bottom when you're doing it. So that's a new product that's going to be out late August. The goal is to have it in stores before Labor Day. The product that started it all for YakAttack is the Visi flag. So this is, let me show you that. They all light up, but the Visi flag makes you Coast Guard certified for a paddling or pedaling vehicle. And so it comes up the right amount of height, 2 mile light, reflective with a flag. It's one of those things that if you are paddling in an area where there's a lot of motorized traffic, being visible is super important, especially with some of the boats being camo or darker colors. Even if you're doing a brighter one, you're invisible half the time in 1 foot of chop. So this being up and in place not only makes you legal, it actually makes you safe. Did you guys do the carts?
I haven't got the carts yet, but.
So this is the tow and stow bunkster cart. This is kind of one of those things where when you get down the line and you're doing design and then you make something even better than what you thought. $180 cart, super adjustable, for width on a bunk style. On YakAttack.us, when you go to this product, we actually have the fits for a lot of the different boats, so you don't have to guess how it's supposed to go on the boat. You'll know how it's supposed to go on the boat because you'll be able to look and go, oh yeah, I've got a bona fide SS-127. I need to have them on 4. It locks in place and everything like that. Cool thing is, you've got places for your straps right out here on the outside of the hub. And then I'm going to show you how easy it is for this to break down. So if you wanted to store it in your boat, I'm going to take off half of it. So you can see how quickly the whole thing is going to break down and go back together. Kickstand, so it's easy to hold in place and set in there.
Very cool.
One of our top products is our leverage landing net, right? I think the thing that everybody has, you got one hand on your rod and reel and then you've got to land something.
So I have one of these in the store, and it was pretty funny. We kind of passed it around. None of us could figure out how to get it open. Dad finally figured it out, but and then I looked over and I saw a customer just keep opening and closing. They were super excited.
I think it's one of those products that once you know how it works, it's like one of those things that everybody that stocks those sells them well.
I sold it before I even put it on the wall. I had it still in a box.
There you go.
Yeah.
You want to look at some more new stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. This is shipping, just so you guys know, 3D printed prototypes. So this is not exactly what the finished goods going to look like, but it is a good representation. The leaderboard is our take on a measuring board for tournaments. There's some people that would rather cheat than try. That being the case, we are molding this in with an RFID chip. So it will be a certified YakAttack board. You've got your credentials that you're going to come in here. This one comes with it. If you need an additional credential holder for when you're doing your pictures to slide on the track, you can do that. We've also got a couple little tabs here that you can either use to distinguish a slot if you're using it for when you're fishing. And I know where I'm in Florida, the reds have a slot that you have to hit. Otherwise, you got to release them. Or you could use it for multiple things where if you're fishing for a couple different things in a tournament to know what your largest fish is. In true YakAttack style, everything has to fit together. So part of our leaderboard is having some different mounts to allow you to mount it different ways on your boat. So we've adapted our Roto Grip paddle holder with a different wheel and a catch on the other side in order to have it line up on any track. I will tell you, you'll probably never orient it this way on your boat because this is our black pack, but it does show how it works, and it's easy for me to do it inside the trade show. Also have a sheath or scabbard, whatever you want to call it, that allows you to slide it in right here. And then we have our double header version of it as well. So.
And here is that the tackle, the whatever you were calling them.
Yeah, the track pack.
Track packs there that's attached to the boat, so you can have it. I know a lot of people were talking about how, they're not quite in shape and flexible and reaching around to get stuff out of their box, but this would be a great place to get your handy stuff that you need right there. Yeah.
Yep. And then our number one product is the Black Pack. Black Pack comes in 3 sizes, a 13 by 13. This is the 13 by 16, and then there's a 16 by 16. Depending on your boat and what the tank well size is, comes with some tube mounts, and you can orient this lid the way you want to. I think for me, the biggest thing is that it is so versatile in terms of the way that people will use it. I've seen people throw in dry bags. I've seen people use it as a battery box for all their stuff. I've seen people use it, stack up all their Plano boxes in there so that they've got their tackle lined up the way they want to. Just tons of different configurations and uses of this product. It actually has, the grid pattern on there allows us to put our track on there. So if you wanted to add some other stuff, you can do it. I've got that on this one over here. Excuse me. So if you look at this Black Pack, you can see we're actually using this as a battery box, right? And then we've got our gridlock track on there to add it so that you've got cup holders right on the top, which you said is one of your best sellers.
It is. I sell a ton of them.
So that's it. And then the last thing that we'll go over today is the I can't remember the name
Live
of it.
scope
right?
thing.
This is the live scope mount. It's a Switchblade Pro or a Switchblade Live, and basically it allows us to deploy and use the live scope and then have it easily put away.
So in theory, would you be able to use that for the power pole too, or is there a different attachment for that?
No, power pole is something that on all the boats there's that mount and battery and everything system.
Oh, I'm sorry, maybe your push pole thing.
No, I would actually recommend on a push pole or our stakeout poles that you're using our anchor trolley system to go along with that.
Okay, cool.
So
very cool. Well, thank you so much, Joe. It's been great talking to you.
Awesome.
Always a pleasure. We love YakAttack.
The only thing better than doing this is getting out on the water.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for this to be done and get out on the water tomorrow.
I know everybody's like, "Oh, you guys are having so much fun." And I'm like, my feet hurt.
You can only talk for so much.
I know. My Jared says, I don't know how you do it. You guys do it. And Jared likes to talk, so I don't know. Anyway. All right, cool. Thanks.
All right.
We're going to go check out some boats, I think, and some Torpedo.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Take your mic from you. I think you want to keep it. But maybe one of these days we'll come down to Farmville and get some Pino's Pizza.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time. Do you eat a Pino's?
I have not eaten it yet.
Well, because you're Jacksonville.
Yeah, but I've been up to Farmville.
All right, guys, we're going to keep moving here. We're going to make our way over to Torpedo next. If we happen to come across any kayaks, we'll check those out as well. Last day for the show here on Friday. They shut it down at 1 o'clock. It's day 4. People start heading to the airport, flying back home. You can imagine the time it takes to set something like this up. I came in at the end of last week just to be ready for Tuesday. Got a young man over here fighting a big fish. He's really working on it. Again, what amazes me here, guys, is everything in this building, everything we buy from the boat, rods and reels, is to try to catch one of these big guys or girls, the big one right there. Wow. Bubba.
Hey, so guys, we're going to check out a kayak booth after this. We were just wondering, would you either see native or Old Town. So Native and Bonafide would be together, or Old Town boats. Like, which would you be interested in seeing what they've got going on?
Bear with us too as we roll up. A lot of these aren't scheduled, and I see Jeff Little in the booth, but it might take a second to grab him. Pretty sure this is the guy they had on the water on Tuesday. That was literally thrown a wake. Mr. Little, how's it going, buddy? Can I clip you here? And we're live here with Thomas and Fishing the DMV. So we were here Tuesday. And this cat right here, we saw you throwing wakes out there on the water. This thing was scooting, what, like 3 mile an hour?
3. No,
So-
like 6.2 is the top end on this one. The Crescent Kayak Light Tackle 2. Very much reminds me of an old Wilderness Systems Tarpon 120, which when I guided the Rappahannock and Shenandoahs, that was the workhorse of Blue Ridge Kayak Fishing's fleet. Real similar design. It actually paddles very well. After I tested the motor and got the speed and range numbers, I took the motor off and put it in the truck and went paddling in it for about an hour on Lake Marburg up in PA. So it's nice to start seeing boats that that do paddle well, that aren't just super wide. So
What model is this one? This
the
Torpedo?
Crescent Kayak. Oh, the Torpedo is the Ultralight 1103. Yep.
I think that's the one we need to get in the stores. I have that travel light.
Yep. The travel motor, like
travel
you see
motor.
on the back of the that canoe
Over there, yeah.
the skiff canoe, is really good for the John boats.
Right.
People that are.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to, if you're kayak fishing and it's just you in the boat, this is a good option. But if you're taking someone with you and you have a small John boat, that's really what the travel
Gotcha.
motor does well. So.
And we just left YakAttack too, so I love seeing all the YakAttack accessories.
Yeah, I put the command stand on this one, along with the park and pole, with just kind of the idea of showing off the capabilities of, a boat that you can go vertical and just sight fish. It's not one of the super stable, never gonna be able to rock it over type boats. Requires some skill and balance to go upright, but certainly the command stand helps with that. So
talk a little bit about too your Jenny, like just letting people know, customers know that we are a Torpedo dealer now.
Yep.
And although we can't carry everything they have in the shop, but we can definitely special order and get it in.
Yeah, I just signed up for I finally got onto the B2B site, and so I was looking at it, and so we can even drop ship straight from there to you guys, or I can order it, and the shipping's not long to get it into the store.
It's usually 3 days.
Yeah,
They
so
come
that's
out
not
of
bad.
Illinois, so.
Yeah, because obviously we're not going to be able to carry them all right now, but if it's something you've been looking at, let us know.
What would be the best Torpedo for the Shenandoah River?
The ultralight on one of those inflatables.
Is that the
You
Innovative
drive-
Sportsman
Yeah,
one?
you want to take a look?
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, very nice. I'm in the middle of a live with these folks, but that's awesome. Those are big casters. Show that. Dennis.
You're fine.
This is useful for the for when you're rigging in shop. If you're doing rigging on a kayak, but you need to move it around, even if it's a kayak shop that takes all their their kayaks and puts it out by the road so people see all that color and know to come in and buy a kayak. That is a very cool stand.
Very cool.
Make sure you show Trey here. So this is the innovative Sportsman Osprey 129/36, so 12'9", 36 inches wide, 3 chambers. The outer tubes are 3 psi. The center is 15. That gives it the rigidity so that when you stomp on this 105-pound thrust electric outboard, the hull doesn't kind of bend and absorb that power. It just transfers it to speed. So the advantages of an inflatable shallow draft, this can go through water like that. I've actually jumped logs that are wet in the river, just running at it full speed and going over it. So shallow draft. For sure, the stability of this, the primary stability is better than any rotomolded kayak that you could get because it's compressed gas. I mean, you ever try to drown a beach ball, you gotta fight it. Same thing where you're standing on compressed gas, you lean and it just fights you, from go. So, and the other part is stealth. There's such thing as hull slap on the hard boats that when it slaps up in there, it reverberates to the fish and they know, hey, you're right there. Whether that's rolled and molded kayak or a John boat or a fiberglass boat, that hull slap in close proximity to where you're fishing can spook the fish. The inflatable, I didn't understand that stealth was one of the bigger advantages, but I just knew that I was getting closer and closer to all sorts of fish. So the hull slap on an inflatable, it just eats it. It doesn't reverberate it back out at the same level that something that's truly rigid does. The other part is if you say you drop something like pliers, but I'm going to use that as an example, that noise doesn't transfer as well to the water as a hard boat, which really carries. So shallow draft, stealth, stability. And then he's got the YakAttack licensed top loading track. So it has 4 sides right there. So you can he actually put the Spectra cord for the foot control steering kit, ran it through this center chamber. But on the top, we got the cup holder. On the outside, you put the plates for the foot control steering. So, and these are the new Select design kind of angled foot pads. They're nicer than these. That's what it was. So when your foot hits this, it's only hitting the top. This is really designed for boats where if you look back at the position of the seat, you would be seated here, not here. When you're in a higher position, when your foot comes down, it's just nice to have that angle. So those aren't quite out yet, but it's a Select Designs product, and I know that Trey with Innovative Sportsman is going to include that in, as an option with his foot control steering kits. So, but yeah, being able to rig it all sorts of ways because of the track, the big box that it makes it riggable like a rotomolded boat.
Customers asking, that kayak is so sick. What does the Innovative Sportsman kayak come with?
I'm going to turn it on Trey here.
Trey. On fishing the DMV, Trey.
And if you remember, Trey was at our kayak section. Trey was at our kayak expo. So everybody's talking to him about the mounts that you get if you buy a Torpedo. He's your man if you want to get a special mount for it for your kayak.
Yeah, so we make different mounts for different kayaks that don't already have the 4-bolt pattern, and we try to accommodate a bunch of different kayaks so that we can put the Torpedo on them.
You gotta basically eat it, like real close.
So. We make other accessories. We make the rock guard for the Torpedo, the bulletproof steering triangle, and stuff like that. But we're shallow water fishermen, just like a lot of the guys in the DMV. So we created the Osprey to be able to get into those shallow waters. And the Torpedo allows us to get skinny and get in that shallow water and move around. And put a bunch of time in the water. We do a lot of single access, so if you don't have somebody to drop you off and pick you up, and it's easy to get in on the river, go up river, and then float back down and fish the whole time. So
Where can people get in touch with you, Trey?
we're at innovativesportsman.com, and you can get a hold of me at innovativesportsman@gmail.com.
Don't call him, email him.
Yeah, email is easier. I tend to answer emails a lot quicker. I don't have a whole lot of service at the shop, so phone calls sometimes don't come through.
Where is the shop?
Mount Airy, Maryland is our shop.
Cool, very good.
Yeah.
Mount Airy, Maryland.
So pretty local.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else noteworthy before we keep moving, guys? Thank you.
No?
No.
Where's
Thanks for
your
visiting.
next trip? Where's your next fishing expedition?
I know I'm going to the Hobie Bass Open Series. Not competing, but I'll be down there and I'll get in the water. And I think I picked up an NRS throw bag, so I may position myself near some pretty gnarly sections of the new river and just, I don't know, be a safety boat. But the Hobie Bass Open Series is a Torquedo partner, and we're going down there and doing a little bit of coverage to show people what's happening.
So we do have a couple more questions. I don't know if this one was answered. It might have been. Thomas was asking, what is the best motor for the river? You got that one.
Yeah.
So then this one is, how well does it paddle? So can you paddle with this?
Can I take that one?
Jeff's been playing with it.
Jeff's a paddling expert, so.
So the cool thing about the Osprey, and I think inflatables in general that drop stitch foiling, low profile, not the ones that they build up the sides that look like a canoe, but like this fairly flat, low profile. You cross an eddy line with a regular boat, and because it sits lower in the water, it slams into your nose and you go downstream. With this, you cross the eddy line and you can barely feel it even slipping. It doesn't swing you around because it sits higher in the water. Paddling and crossing eddy lines and even any sort of current seams is just that much easier. It paddles well. People do ask about how is it in the wind. Yeah, because it sits on top of the water. It is more subject to the wind. It's a fairly light boat at 85 pounds with the frame in the seat. But anything that you do to counter that, which I have dual anchor wizards, one off the bow, one off the stern, it requires very little even anchor line length out there to get me stopped. And I do it facing upstream or downstream. Even with the motor, it takes very little power just to, with a foot control steering, stay on a spot. If I'm chucking crankbaits into white water, it's very turbulent and it pushes you around. This boat doesn't get pushed around in that current nearly as much. So yes, it paddles nicely. I will say this is a 12-foot 9-inch version. I know the ones that you have in stock are the 14, which is actually 13-foot 9, 13.9. I prefer the longer one. A lot of that is because you get a little bit more speed, and speed actually translates to being able to shoot up through rapids. And I will put the motor on full blast, point it at it, and just let the Torquedo Ultralight 1103 eat, and it will mash you up that tongue. If you need a little bit more power,
You're a big.
I'm 220.
In perspective, you're 220, and you're still, like you say, scooting up through the rapids.
Yeah,
that's good.
I also
He's
carry
taller.
48 pounds, worth of tackle in this little Lakewood box. So, I bring some weight.
That's right. And it's still doing the job, is what you're saying. And I've seen you, too, on your footage. Maybe not this exact one, but to be able to stand up on it, too. Like, you're standing up, and that thing's
the standing stability is as good with this than anything else I've been in.
Yeah.
I must tell you that a John boat will rock. A small John boat will rock more than this.
Right.
So.
With kayaks, you talk primary stability and secondary stability. This kayak has no secondary stability because you never get past the primary stability.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I actually did a video, this time last year where I'm like, what is it going to take to flip one? And I had to rock back and forth to the point where I'm just violently flinging myself over and grabbing the rail and pulling it. It wasn't going to go over. It's super solid.
Guys, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the information.
All right. Have a good show.
Thanks.
Old Town is all the way in the back here with the icon boat.
Okay.
So you see the icon boat, make a left, they're like right at the top.
Okay, so bonus.
Yeah, Bonafide is more towards that side. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know if you got mine here.
No, I'm saying on there. So here's the cash-in booth, guys. We got cash-in in stock at store. You know, these guys are all made in America, right? Yeah, so we've got you guys in store. Yeah, so and we have the John Cruz icon. These guys are great. Most of the time I put one of these in somebody's hands, they're very happy with it. They like the feel of it. So, yeah. Ooh, they've got a catalog. I love your catalogs. I'm just going to grab one. We're a dealer, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, good to see you too. Thank you.
I wanted to answer that one question from Jonathan. USA made, baby. Yes, Jonathan, it is USA made. It retails for $2,000 or something of that ilk. And then plus, I would assume you'd want to also anticipate getting a Torpedo, some kind of motor, and some accessories. So you might be closer, all said and done, $2,500 to $3,000 for the kayak. If you want any more information, it's going to be on the Innovative Sportsman's website as well. But they are closed this weekend for ICAST. But just to let you know, $2,000 bare bones for the kayak.
Hey.
Thank you for the information. Appreciate it. You bet, John. Yeah, Lee, we're getting a lot of good reviews on it, on inflatables, especially from Jeff Little. And you got to figure Jeff Little has been in a lot of different watercrafts, from kayaks to John boats to now inflatables. And as he said, at 220 pounds, it's doing the job for him. And he's on a lot of the rivers that we frequent, Susquehanna, Shenandoah. So if his testimony, I think, holds weight. So Old Town, we're going to be rolling into Old Town now. Take a look at their kayaks.
Just to reiterate what Jared just said, we are now going to go to the Old Town booth for the kayaks. If you have questions, please, please, please let me know in the comment section below. I might be doing a prize giveaway for the people that ask the best questions, okay? We want a little bit more interaction from our fan base here. I know some people are just watching blowing off work, but any questions you ask could potentially get you in for a prize.
Good. We're actually just doing a live broadcast. We've got some people on there very interested in kayaks.
Okay.
We do not currently have a kayak line, but we are looking to see who we want to bring in.
Let me tell you, the best option
Oh, yeah. Is Old Town?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to talk about anything new and noteworthy?
Yeah, we just launched about
Can I mic you up there?
Yeah, where do you want it?
Right there. Oh, there we go. Awesome. All right.
Our new boats are over here.
New boats are over here, Jared. Hey, you're good at finding us, Nick. And I see you guys have the amped outdoors battery.
Yes, we do.
You guys big fan of that? Because I know we have a local kayak tournament group that they use a lot of amped batteries too.
Yeah, so that amp battery actually powers this boat, which just won the Best Boat in Watercraft Award here at ICAST. This is our brand new Big Water EPDL Plus. This is the first ever, it's a patented system, it's the first ever electric pedal-assisted kayak. So this is built for covering big water. It's still super stable, but you can cover distance. It's super fast. It goes up to 5 miles an hour. And that battery actually powers the entire drive. So you can go, if you're going as fast as you can and not using pedal assist, you're just using cruise control, you can go like 12 to 15 miles.
Wow.
So actually, if you want to come over here, the drive itself is the showstopper. So I'll power it up here. You'll see it's in manual mode right now. So there's 3 modes. There's manual, power assisted pedal, and cruise control. And so I'm just doing manual pedal. As I crank up the speed, you'll see my pedal speed isn't going to change, but the speed of the water below is going to pick up quite a bit. So if I'm in speed 3, 4, and 5, it really starts going. But I'm still just barely pedaling. Then I can go to cruise control mode. I can take my hands off the pedals and still just do all my adjustments. Speed 1 and 2 are kind of like your trolling speeds. If you're trolling for whatever, walleye or going offshore, doing some stuff in saltwater. This is saltwater rated. It's waterproof and it floats. So if you happen to do something crazy and fall out or jump in for a swim and you flip it over, falls out, it's going to float there. Has a dry storage compartment for your phone and keys and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When pedaling, does it charge the battery?
It does not charge the battery when pedaling, but the battery is, you saw it back here. It's a 36 volt, 20 amp hour battery. It only weighs 8 pounds. So that's the battery. At speed 5 in cruise control, you're going to go for 3 hours. As you drop down to the lower speeds, like speed 1 and 2, you can go up to 46 hours without having to charge it. And that's without doing any pedaling with it. My experience is that when you're fishing, right, you're going to cover a lot of ground. You're going to get back to where you want to fish, and then you're going to go into manual mode. So you're actually not using the pedal assist until, like, once you get to your fishing spot. So in my experience, I'm charging the battery every 2 to 3 trips, and I've never actually run out. The beauty of it is, if you do run out, you still have the pedal drive, so you're never stranded. You're never paddling.
Yeah.
And you can, like I said, get on fish and stay on fish.
Yeah. So how much is this one going to cost? Is it out on the market now?
This just got launched on Tuesday. It is available for pre-order now. It is $59.99, but that includes the Amped Outdoors lithium battery.
Wow. So everything ready to go.
Everything ready to go.
That's amazing. So do you have another boat that you would recommend for a consumer with a lesser budget?
Yeah. So actually, if you come over here, I'm going to show this boat really quick.
Look at her go. Oh, keep pedaling.
Keep pedaling.
She's getting her workout in.
So this is our best seller.
Okay.
This is the Old Town Sportsman PDL 120. The cool thing about this boat, this hull style, we have it in a paddle model, we have it in a pedal model, and we actually have 2 motorized models that use the exact same hull design. So you can figure out the right boat for you, the right propulsion method. This boat has an awesome, huge tank well in the back for all your gear, and it has our award-winning pedal drive. That pedal drive has a 5-year warranty. It's basically indestructible.
A quick question from a customer. How is that prop protected from underwater obstructions, the one we just talked about?
So it's going to be similar to this one if you can pull that up. So it does have a keel guard on the bottom here. And then the prop is actually removable. So this is just a twist-on nut, and it's really easy to remove. So if you did happen to break your prop or something, you can just twist that off, pop it off, like that, and you can swap your prop. There's a prop nut there that is also a replaceable part, so you're not going to damage the drive if you hit something. At worst case scenario, you break your prop and you just bring another prop with you. These are like $8.
So if you bought, like you wanted to start off with the pedal drive because you're like on a budget, and then you want to upgrade it to one of those drives, is that something that's easily done?
It's not backwards compatible. So to get the e-pedal drive, you have to buy the e-pedal boat because it's pre-wired. And it has all the safety protocols in it for kill switches and things like that.
Right.
And we want to make sure that people are safe when they're fishing first and foremost. So pedal drives, our only pedal drives motorized are only motorized, and we keep those separated from each other.
Right, so you have to go, if you want that motorized option, you're going to have to get a whole new boat.
Yes.
Okay.
The great thing is they hold great resale value.
They do. I've heard that, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just love that everybody works together with YakAttack. Like, they're such a great company.
Yeah, they really are.
What's that? You dropped the nut?
Jonathan would like to know, does Old Town have a fishing yak for children under 10 years old?
So the youth models are usually paddle models, but the great thing about these boats is that they're on slidable tracks, the seats are. So if you wanted a pedal model, depending on the height, right, kids are growing, so it's always that variance. But the seats are on shuttles, and especially the motorized models, you don't need to be a specific height for those, so those are pretty convenient. We do have a whole line of sit-inside paddle kayaks.
He's an engineer. He loves playing with these things. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your best in show, or
Appreciate
best
it.
in the category, rather.
Yeah.
That's me. So
awesome.
We are, like I said, we are looking for a kayak line. There's one more over here. We're gonna go with that. They're getting their workout in today. I love it.
So these are our motorized models. These are both motorized boats. One of them has an integrated power drive trolling motor. So this is a 45-pound thrust power drive. Runs on iPilot. So if you are a bass angler and have a bass boat, you're probably really familiar with what Minn Kota offers here. But it's all based on this remote. So I'll actually climb up here and show you really quickly. You have this handle and you just pull it down, pop it into place, and you probably couldn't hear it, but it gives you a little beep 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 to let you know it's connected, and everything's going to drive off your remote. So you have left, right, speed up, speed down, and then the key feature here is this anchor button, which is spot lock. So you have an electronic anchor that keeps it from having to tie up and get hung up on the bottom. And then you can easily bump around and get to your next spot, stay on the fish. So this rig, we have a 12-foot version and a 13.5-foot version, and it's going to be anywhere from like $4,200 to $4,500. And this is a brand new color that we just came out with. This is our Marsh Camo. We also have this in the orange boat that you saw previously, as well as our steel blue for 2024.
Very cool.
And this has a huge tank well in the back, so you can carry a lot of stuff. You can carry your Yetis with you.
I was gonna say there's a Yeti cooler on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just the 10-foot version of that boat, but this is a little bit of a more simple version. So it actually runs off of a throttle. So there's no spot lock, but you just have a simple boat-style throttle, and you actually drive with your feet. So there's a rudder in the back connected to these foot pedals. So as you push the foot pedals, the rudder in the back will move for you. It's hard to push it with your hand.
So Lee Wells says, I love Old Towns. However, Old Towns are heavy. What or how do they recommend to secure the bow of them to a trailer?
So to a trailer, what we recommend are cinch straps. So you would go over the top of the boat. They're really cool accessories from YakAttack to do, to put in your accessory track so that you can run a cinch strap through it. We would not recommend using ratchet straps. Ratchet straps put a lot of stress on the plastic because you can over tighten it. These bend with heat, they expand and contrast. So you want to make sure that it's here, but not overly tightened down. So it would be a cinch strap through or over the top of the boat. You wouldn't want to use the handles to tie it down or anything like that. It would be an over and back style cinch.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate all
absolutely.
the information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Very good.
I have your card.
Yeah, and then, yeah, you could should be like your dealer. So where are you guys located?
So we build all boats in Old Town. Yep. We're in where? Virginia.
Yeah. So like you guys have like the threshold for the shipping time, but it's not a lot.
Yeah. So I can get connected real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You can take it. Yeah.
And just to give you guys a little bit of a quick reminder, if you could hit that thumbs up button, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, I would really appreciate it. Also, if you could, go give my YouTube channel a like, Fishing the DMV podcast. It really helps us out in the algorithm, helps us promote it. It helps us to be able to try to get more people to want to partner with us so we can give you bigger and better content. And then finally, we are a podcast. We are available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find Fishing the DMV. There's an episode that even dropped today. It's available now on all podcast platforms, and it will be premiering on YouTube at noon today. So at noon today, there will be a new podcast episode dropping. Back to the action here. Jonathan, Phoenix. What do you mean by Phoenix? Do you mean the Phoenix boat, a Phoenix kayak, a Phoenix rod, a Phoenix bait? Add a little bit more context to your question so I can kind of help out moving the camera along. What do you mean by Phoenix?
So I believe Jared has just taken us to the Native Sportsman's booth.
Somebody talk to these online?
Which one? Justin may want to do it. As soon as he's been talking to this guy, it's been fine. Or Tyler, maybe. And even in the white water boat, yeah, black and green and black and red. We used to have one called Firestorm, I think. It was black with the red accent on it. It did pretty well. And the black and red Hobie was freaking Icanelli bird. They saw the crap out of those. They did.
Yep, I had to get him to the trailer, put it on the trailer, drain it, go back out.
You'll talk to the native on a live stream?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Titan.
We can talk about anything.
We'll probably cover the Titan because that's the newest boat. All right, am I good to go? Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Brown with Native Watercraft. We're here at ICAST 2023 and we're really excited to unveil our Titan X series. So we're gonna have two sizes of this boat. We've got the 12.5 and then we'll have a 10.5. Both will be available in the fall. We're really fired up to have these new models. We've spent a lot of time developing them and we're really happy with how they turned out. So Titan, super stable platform. It's huge, it's really comfortable and easy to stand up, sit down super easily. We've got our new swivel seat, so this seat turns around 360 degrees to allow you to access the back of the boat really quickly and fish off the side. Let's say you're holding position with that XI3 up front and you want to fish the side of the boat. It's just really easy to maneuver in here. But we made it really easy to add motorization in the bow and stern. We have features like our power links here that allow you to drill into this plate versus the kayak. so you can really cleanly run your electronics, and they're right where you need them. So this is right next to the seat for switches. This particular switch system powers the graphs and the motorization as well. Internal rod storage, just tons of storage throughout the boat. Got dual power poles on this one too. Big open hatch. Got your battery compartment here. Underneath that battery, there's a through-hole scupper that you can run your transducer up and wiring through. So it's just really easy and integrated. And we're just trying to make it easy for the angler. So pedal driven. Yep, we got our Propel pedal drive 701 series. This particular boat is kind of done up with everything that you can do, but you can pick and choose, what's important to you and what you want. But we wanted to show the capability of what's possible with the boat. So, but instant forward and reverse pedal drive. We've had this pedal drive system for going on close to 15 years, and it's bomber.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
About the bona fides or something.
Yeah, we can go. Yeah, I could talk about the bona fide as well. So people are testing it out now, but we've got our brand new bona fide SKF. Luke Masters on it. He's testing it out. He's gonna be in one for a little bit, trying it out here soon. This will be available in the fall too. We really wanted to create a simple platform that was wide open for an angler. And so you'll see that wide open deck and traction pads kind of throughout. And got an ability to add a power pole on the back if you want it. Same with stern motor. We've been testing that out, and that's been going really well. This thing cruises with a stern motor. And so they got our popular SS seat, so it gets you pretty high on the boat, so it's easy to stand from too. Really stable, low draft boat for getting up in skinny water.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
This is my sister here.
Oh, hi, I'm Tyler Brown.
So are you
What needs? Education. Have a good one. All right. It's more of a stowaway kind of option.
How are you, sir?
Good.
So paddle boards, it's a great question. I know the boat, let me take you back to boat. Pretty popular brand, more of kind of recreational options here. And it's amazing what they're doing with technology. There's so many different watercraft. So they've got a neat feature here too, magnetics on the bottom. Really pulled it down. These would be great for the Shenandoah River for the old float trip.
The result of a timely tryst between a highly utilitarian father and a Swiss Army knife brother.
See the strength of that magnet. That's right, Lee. Don't spill your beer going through the rapids. So all this stuff is blown up, as you can see here. Now these are on stands, but these are designed to float on the water. So if you have a lake lot, I guess you could put it on the Shenandoah River, float down. A little bit nicer than the typical tube. Different furniture, cornhole board here. This is the Hangout water hammock. That is one thing we've talked about. Is looks like they're an award winner also. Best non-motorized boating accessories. You know, just like we're all familiar with salt life. You know, we think also about lake life, and let's just say water in general. We happen to like to fish. Jenny's thinking about pulling the trigger on one of these. If she can get Nickery to pull the trigger. But the idea of a lifestyle, what we enjoy the water. We obviously enjoy fishing on the water, but Shenandoah River offers float opportunities for friends and family and kids. So guys, we're planning on wrapping up here pretty soon. We're going to be needing to head to the airport ourselves. Any last minute requests? Fishing backpacks, anything cool? So I could slip down here real quick. I know Spro has put out some small packs. I don't know if they have the bigger backpack. I'm sure they're in here, Jonathan. Just trying to find the manufacturer that carries it. But I know Spro pointed out some carriers, tackle organization type carriers. Let's see if they've got anything. One thing we talked about yesterday with bags, just tackle organization, if you will. putting your plastics in bags like this. Not exactly what you were looking for as far as a backpack. There you go. Box in there. I got you now. Take that off. Put it around. Box over there. Sorry about the camera, guys. So we are ready to wrap it up. We appreciate everybody joining us here at ICAST 2023, Orlando, Florida. Thank you to Thomas and Carly for pumping out the content and setting all this up, making all this possible. And if you didn't get a chance, go back and see Roland Martin, Jimmy Houston yesterday. Jenny helped these guys on the scooter, motorized scooter. I saw a video too where they're messing around with their mics. Two legends in the field.
Hey guys and girls, Jimmy Houston here at ICAST Rolling. This is the last. Oh, by the way, my buddy Roland Martin. I don't think
Awesome stuff. I mean, we really huge shout out to Jared and Jenny for doing this. This is the first year I didn't go. I stayed back at HQ because I had I wanted to save a little bit of money. Next year we're definitely going to go, no problem. But I gave them all the camera gear. We tried to do this remote to remote type of interview process, and I thought it worked extremely well. This allowed Carly and I to pump out a lot of short content, clip a lot of things. But again, really a huge shout out to you guys for making all this possible. I really cannot thank all of you enough for everything that we did. Please, if you can, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. Go to Fishing the DMV podcast on YouTube. Also, if you'd like to listen to the podcast, you can also listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. We're everywhere that you can consume your local podcasts. We still have a ton of content that's going to be coming out, and there's a new podcast episode that drops at noon today. So at noon today on the YouTube channel, a new podcast drops. I'm going to be talking about Creek Fishing 101, and also we're going to be delving into the Lake Manassas controversy. I have a couple of articles that we break down during the conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun. As always, guys, this is going to stay up. Please watch out for the Facebook and Instagram for more shorts and stuff like that on ICAST. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next time on Fishing the DMV. Bye.
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.